Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Part 5 of the Zendesk.com homepage build. Let's go ahead and do our quick agenda for today, and then we will jump right in. So my goal for today is to get the CTA card right here done. This whole return on investment section, we need to get that done. We need to get this little voted #1 best software strip done. We need to get the footer all wrapped up. And then I think next episode can be the final episode in this series once those things are done. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to edit with bricks. We're going to start with that wide CTA card. Let's go ahead and scroll down to it, this little thing right here. So I need a container. Really, I'm going to use a block in a container. And I'm going to put some padding in it. I'm going to put an image. Let's see if they made this a heading or text. Semantically, I think this should be text. They used a heading, but it's not really a heading for anything. It's not, to me, it's just paragraph text that looks like a heading. And then we have 2 buttons in here. Okay, so let's go ahead and scroll down to that section. And we are going to add a container. And then we are going to add a block inside of our container. This is going to be the actual card. So we're going to call this wide CTA card. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in an image. I'm going to put in text. And I'm going to put in a div. That's going to house our buttons. Inside of that div, let me go ahead and select that div. We're going to put in the 2 buttons that go there. Okay. We're going to call this, just organize everything real quick. We're going to call this the buttons wrapper. We've got a button and a button. One of these is going to be a different style, right? An outline button. Yeah. So we're going to go with main button, and then we'll say alt button, something like that, like an alternate button. Let me go in here, main button, alt button, buttons wrapper. Okay. This is going to be our text. And then we've got our image as well, which we can just say is going to be media. I don't think in this case we're going to need a media wrapper. It's like a very, very, very simple thing. So let's just rock and roll with what we've got so far. Let's auto BIM this. So I have wide CTA card. There's classes for all of my elements. All good there. Let's immediately start to style this. So what we need is flex row. We need to align the main axis to the center, both axes on this. Actually, the main axis needs to be flex start. We're going to go with a column gap of something like space M, a row gap of something probably like space XS. We can also go space between most likely on this. We'll evaluate this more in a second when I get everything in here. I think I have this fireworks image somewhere. Here it is. Okay. We know for sure that we're going to need padding on this card. I'm going to go with space L. Is going to be my first guess. We're going to put that on all sides. Obviously, our media is a bit big. Let's just see how big their media is. It's 168 pixels wide. So I'll just do 170, and then we'll CTR that, convert that to rem. And then for the text, we are going to go with H3 as the size. And then our font family needs to be feature. And we need to go with 700, so that's nice and bold there. And that actually looks like an H2 size, maybe. Now they have it as H3. Let's go with, what was I just doing? What did I just do? I copied the text. Okay, I was like, yeah, what am I trying to do here? All right, so I copied the text. We do want this to be a paragraph tag. We definitely want to go with something like H2 on this. Which is going to be too much. I'm going to go 1.1 with the line height. Let's go with H2 divided by 3. Okay, 2, 1.5. Okay, I'm just dialing this in real quick. 1.4, somewhere in there. Looks good. All right, on our buttons wrapper, we obviously need some gap there. So we're going to make sure that we display this as flex row. We are going to allow this to wrap if needed. And we're going to put a column gap of probably just like 1 M on this is usually a good way to go. I'm going to go with button action on this one. And then we're going to go with button action outline. I think that's what, oh no, they've got, okay, button white and button white outline are what we need. I forgot because we're gonna color the background of this. So button white, and then this is gonna be button white, but it's also gonna be button outline. Okay, button outline is gonna turn that into an outline button. We can then bring in our color for our background. All right, what color are we going with? That is a primary colored block. All right, and then we're gonna have a white text on here. We're gonna save. We're gonna go view this on the front end just to see how we are currently comparing to what we see over here. I'm actually seeing a lot more padding. Okay, and then of course that's zoomed in a bit. Let me make sure we're not zoomed in here at all, not zoomed in here at all. Okay, let's go increase the padding. So if space L is not gonna do it, let's try space XL on all sides and see if that gets us a bit closer. All right, so we have that version there. Let's align that with the top here, refresh. Okay, a little back and forth action. That is pretty good. What I'm noticing is they're not using space between. That's one thing that they're not doing. So we'll go back to align content on that axis. And then on this button's wrapper, we're just gonna go align self to the, we can't align self because it's on the wrong axis. What we can do is we can go margin left of auto and push those buttons off to the side. And then that's gonna give us more of an alignment like they have. Well, yeah, that's basically exact. And again, we're not going for exact. We're going for nobody would know, and it looks fantastic, right? It still looks great. It's the essence of the design. It doesn't have to be pixel perfect because there's no such thing. We now have a wide CTA card. What we want to do probably is check that out. So that is actually wrapping maybe earlier than we want it to. Let's go ahead and go no wrap at that breakpoint. No, I do think it needs to wrap there. In fact, I think, you know, what does theirs do? Let's see what theirs does. Oh, they got some console errors. Okay, so, oh, they're gonna drop a button as well on mobile. They drop a button immediately. Immediately, they drop the get a demo button. So we need free trial and get a demo, and then they're gonna go ahead and start stacking it later on. So that's what they did to save space right there. All right, so this is gonna be free trial, and then this is gonna be get a demo. All right, and are their buttons bigger? That's one question I'm asking myself right now. No, their buttons are not bigger. Those are the standard buttons. All right, so get a demo just basically needs to disappear right here. So we need, and that's why we have a custom class on here aside from the utility classes. See how these things can sometimes come in handy? You don't quite know if you're gonna need them, but it's like when you do need them, it's really nice to have them. So you saw me put a class on here with auto BIM that, clearly I wasn't actually going to use to style the button, but here we are. I need to get rid of that button on this breakpoint, and I can use that class to do it. So I'm going to go with layout display none, and that button will disappear at this breakpoint. I don't know why it's not disappearing at this breakpoint. Display. Okay, so let's do this at the... Okay, that's interesting. So what we want to do is figure out, there's obviously a specificity issue here. So let's go ahead and go down a breakpoint and let's inspect this and let's see. Okay, span, class, display. There's got to be a display property. Display inline flex. Okay, all right. So all we're going to have to do is we're just going to have to increase our specificity a little bit. All right, so we're going to go to style and we're going to go to CSS. We're going to go to root and we're going to go, let's try this tactic first. Display none. All right, that's not working. Let's do important. Save. Okay. I mean, it is important that we display that none anyway. I don't feel like that's too egregious. But now, see, now we drop that. And now we have plenty of room kind of for everything else that's going on in here. And then we can easily just let this wrap Probably right there is where you want this to wrap. So the wide CTA card now, not wrap, but go vertical. And then let's just align everything to the center. And let's go to our buttons wrapper at this breakpoint and remove that auto margin. Okay, so we're gonna go back to just 0 for this. And the question now becomes, first of all, buttons wrapper, we're gonna need this to go 100% wide. Probably should have used a block to start with, but whatever. And then we're going to align everything to the center. All right. And then probably I'm thinking we need to go back here and change this to S and then see what our row is like here. Maybe even more, maybe even, you know what? We just need to do like content gap. And that'll just give us our normal content gap at those breakpoints. And then what I need is, now that that's wide, I need our main button. See, once again, a class coming in handy here. Let's go 100%. And because that's what they're doing on theirs, it looks like. So when theirs stacks, their button goes 100% wide. Where did the CTA go? It has not stacked yet. I hate how this jumps around. There it is. See how they go 100% wide on their button at that breakpoint? So we are doing the exact same thing. All right, I think we're good there. We've got our CTA card done. Let's move on to our next section. We need a return on investment section right below this one. So let's add a section. And it's gonna have this little accent heading thing up here. We're gonna put that in a container. So I need container, container, container. And I don't know why, where did it add the section? Oh, it's adding them to the bottom. Well, that's not helpful, Bricks. Let's bring that section in here. There we go. Now we got a nice blank section. We got a container. I'm just gonna duplicate this 2 more times. So we've got our 3 containers. I am going to add a paragraph text right here. And we are going to make that our accent heading. All right, accent heading like that. And what does that say? Return on investment. Return on investment. Awesome. We don't want that to be the first thing in our DOM. So I'm actually going to put that second. And then on that container, I'm just going to go order this -1. So we are going to go with, where's order go? Order, 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 order. Let's just search for it. Order. They put it in a different place depending on what panel you're in. Section should be, what's going on here with, yeah, this is flex for sure. All right. Order -1 should be working just fine. Order. Oh yeah. Like why wasn't I seeing it a second ago? Is my brain glitching? Am I having a stroke? I don't know exactly what's going on. Okay. We need this to be a grid. It looks like a 50-50 grid. We're just not using up this entire part of the grid over here. So I can show you how to handle that. But yeah, I think we're going to go with a 50-50 grid there. So we're going to go, let's get rid of our search box here. It kind of gets in the way. We're going to go with a grid 2. And then a grid, I'll say L1. Yeah, we'll probably stack this at the L breakpoint. So let's go grid 2. I guess I didn't click that button. Grid 2, grid L1. So that's going to give us a nice responsive grid there. I'm going to go with 2 blocks, block, block. On the left-hand side, we're going to put in a heading, text, and a link, okay? So we're going to go with a heading, we're going to go with text, and we're going to go with a link. Awesome. That is going to be our H2 heading right there. Remember, this is actually first in the DOM. This is only first visually. This is actually first in the DOM. Maximize your ROI. Maximize your ROI. Be nice if I could type and spell and all those sorts of fundamental things. Maximize your ROI. And then let's grab this little paragraph right here. We'll make sure that it's a paragraph tag. Our text link is going to say, read the full report. Read the full report. Do we have a link class yet? I've been bouncing around from bounce footer nav link. Okay. I don't think we've done any other like just straight up links on this page. Everything's been a button so far. I don't see any other just text links. So we're just going to have to make one. All right. And I actually don't know if we need to do anything special here with this. So, well, we kind of do. It's underlined. Okay. Link. It's not even an action. Let's just use link. Let's just use a very generic class. But I feel like we're not going to use this very often. What we want to do is no, that's the right font and everything. Okay. We do want to go with font weight on this. So we're going to go with 600. Now I could do this globally to all links, but I don't think all of their links behave like this. This is actually where we're going to want to go to the blog. Like find somewhere where there would be a bunch of links. Now, see, these links are styled completely different. This is all completely different. So we just need a class that handles this in one-off cases. Typography is going to be underline. And then we're going to have to use custom CSS to give ourselves a text underline offset of 1em, 0.5em. Looks good, just like that. Okay, so that's going to be our link. Where does that go? Copy link address. And let's put this in here. Link, external URL, drop in the URL. Ah, look at that. It changes the color now because of that. So we're going to go to typography and we are going to say, so what we actually need to do here, I wonder if we just get away with text base. Yeah. Because the link style is just really for the font weight and the underline, and then we can just color it on the fly with another utility class. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use our content gap utility class, and then over here, we want some cards. These are going to be icon cards. That's what we're going to call this. Icon card. We're going to call this wide icon card. We can do icon card and icon card wide, like as a modifier, but, usually what I prefer to do, it's a little bit easier to manage, is just create a wide icon card and then create a normal icon card. Like it's simpler, right? It's less engineering. So we're going to go with a block. I also need a stretch class on this grid so that both sides are always equal height. This card right here is going to be our wide icon card. And then if I look at the general structure of it, I need a media wrapper, I need media, and I need a content wrapper, and then I need my content. All right, so we're going to go with a block and a block. All right, let's open this up. This is going to be our media wrapper. This is going to be our content wrapper. Inside of our media wrapper is what? Media. Okay, so let's put an image in there for right now. And that is going to be called media. Because this is an icon card, let's just go with icon wrapper and icon. This will cut down on confusion if somebody else happens to be using this. Nobody is, but you got to think that way. Content wrapper is going to need a heading and text. So we're going to go with heading and text. And we're just going to say text right there, heading, text, content wrapper, icon wrapper, wide icon card, auto BIM this, apply classes, and we are ready to rock and roll. Question is, do we want to use Flexbox to handle this layout, or do we want to use Grid? I think a lot of people would use Flexbox. And for that reason, I'm going to use grid. Okay, so we're going to start out that way anyway. So we'll go with display grid. We're going to go with auto min max 0 1FR. And we are going to go with a gap of content gap. Awesome. We're going to select our image, which is an icon, improve time to value. It's this thing right here. We're going to go ahead and insert that. Look at how the image is like aligned to the top of its box. Like that's terrible. The way that Zendesk did that with that's the actual media file doing that. You never want to do that. You never, ever, ever want to do that. Just give yourself the exact size icon you need and do everything else with CSS. What is the size of this thing? Let's get out of responsive mode. Okay, just take me to the thing that I asked for. All right, 120 by 120. All right, so we're going to go with, first of all, yeah, see, we can't do thumbnail because that's like going to make it it is a square, I guess. That's just dumb. That's just dumb. Okay. This is going to be a figure element. You know, these are very decorative icon. They actually don't matter. They're just for decoration. So we're not going to wrap in a figure tag. We want to align everything to the center, I think. No, they've kept it aligned to the top. They've kept it aligned to the top. So this is going to be an H3 in here. Is this an H3? Did they do an H3 there? They did. And my H3s clearly need to get a little bit bigger. So their font size is 30 pixels computed for their H3s, and we'll see what mine is. But first, I'm going to add a row gap here of content gap divided by 2. This is going to be improved time to value. And then we need to get the text for that as well. All right, pop that in, perfect. All right, I'm also seeing that it looks like they're using like larger text. Is that their body text? Font size is 20 pixels. That's their body text. Okay, that's correct. Ours is 20, theirs is 20. We're good to go. I think it's just the heading size throwing me off. So let's go ahead and take care of that. So we're going to hop back into automatic CSS. And automatic CSS, their H3 is coming in at 30 pixels. So we're just going to go to heading size overrides and drop a 30 in that box right there. And then we can refresh on our front end. And there we go. So now we are computing. If we look at our computed, font size is now 30 pixels. So we are exactly doing what they are doing. I think the only thing is their grid is not, I'm seeing now it's not 50-50. I took the guess on it being 50-50. Theirs isn't even a grid, I don't think. Yeah, they're using flex almost certainly. Yeah, they are. So we're just going to adjust our grid a little bit here. I can get rid of this. I can come in and say, instead of grid 2, let's try grid 2-1. And that's going to be too much. 3-2. Let's try grid 3-2. That might be too much as well. Okay, let's just go custom on our grid then. See, you can go whatever you want. We're going to go with min-max 0-1FR and then min-max 0-1FR. And I'm just going to make this my own custom. Let's do 4 and let's do 3. That probably is going to work a little bit better. And I'm also noticing if we go with a big gap here, you know, like gap XL or something like that. I'm sorry, space XL. My brain's not working today. Space XXL even. That's going to get us kind of exactly what they're doing. They're still cutting this content off over here more, which is fine. We can go over here and we can go, and you can just do this right here at the ID level because you're kind of carving out this one particular section. So like 60 characters on that content wrapper. And was that what that was doing before? Yeah, we need something like 50 characters. Save, refresh, refresh. Okay, so there's maximize your ROI, and there's ours. So now we're more or less matching exactly what's going on there. So 120 CTR is 7.5 rim. There we go. Now we're going to be looking much more. And remember, I don't have that font weight that they're using. All right, I think we more or less got this card going the way that we want to. We just need to make this block an unordered list. So we're going to go UL here. We're going to go with list none. That's going to clear all of the list styling for us. We've got a wide icon card. What else do we want on here? Probably just content gap. And I can go duplicate. Oh, I don't want to duplicate yet. Let me not duplicate that yet. Let me make sure that we have this as an LI first. So that's a list item. Now I can save. Now I can go duplicate. And we want this to be reduce effort per ticket and keep costs low. All right, let's go ahead and refresh bricks. It's getting a little laggy on us. Okay, scroll down. I got like animations running in here. I got like a bunch of stuff going on. What was this? Keep costs low. Keep costs low, low, keep costs low. All right. How about this? How about this? Ah, it didn't even apply my content gap. I don't know what's going on exactly. Save. All right. Let's swap this out. What icon do we need here? A feather and then pennies. All right. A feather and then we need pennies. Penny, 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 pennies. Okay. Insert. And then down here, we need, these cards. We're going to call this, I'm going to call them stat cards. You know, like a statistics card. So I'm going to call this stat grid. And then I'm going to put a block in there. This is going to be our first stat card. And I'm going to collapse this. No, what do I need to collapse? So you guys can see everything that I'm doing here. I'll collapse those. Okay. So this is going to be called a stat card. And then inside of our stat card, we need text, text, and text. Or we could go with an H3 here. Yeah, I think an H3 here makes sense. So we'll go with an H3 text, text. Stat card, we're going to go H3, I'm sorry, heading, and then text, text. All right. One text is going to be the stat. The other text is going to be the description. And then we have our heading. So our stat card is done. We can auto BIM this. Yes, I do want to apply classes. Stat grid needs a class. So we'll call this stat grid. And we're going to say display that as a grid. And then this can be grid 3. Very simple there. Grid gap between those. And grid 1 on our rows. Okay. Our stat card, we can align everything to the center and typography center all as well. And then we're going to go with a row gap of content gap divided by 2. This heading is going to say average ROI. This is going to be the actual stat, which is 286%. Perfect. This is going to be a span. This is going to be a paragraph. That's going to be an H3. The stat is going to get an order of -1 to bring that to the top. It's going to get a font size of something astronomical. We can try our, yeah, let's just go rogue here. So 80, yeah, CTR, convert that to rem. So I think 5 rem would be good. Well, I mean, if we just, I guess we could just measure the computed size. They're actually using that as an H2. Ugh, no, don't do that. Absolutely not, my friend. Absolutely not. That is not semantically accurate. Font size. But if they're going to go that route, we can just say it's going to be the H2 size. Okay, and then font weight is going to be 700. Okay, and yeah, that's not the H2 size. They used a custom size and an H2. I can guarantee that. And that's doubly wrong. Doubly wrong. Okay, it was 104 CTR. Convert that to rem. There you go right there. So that is good, but notice ours is not a heading. It's a span. Okay, average ROI. And then what does this need to say? Customers achieved over 3 years. That doesn't really make any sense to me. Like, they could have done way better with that description. Okay, you know what the line height on this thing needs to be? Like 1. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now we are cooking. That looks pretty good. I know ours is way bolder. Once again, I don't have that font weight. But that's good. Okay. We need to, should this be a list? A list of stats. A list of stats. I don't know. I don't know. I think so. I think you could make the case for it. So let's go with an unordered list here. Let's go with list none to clear the list styles. Let's go with an LI on here. And let's go duplicate, duplicate. That's going to get us 2 more stat cards. $20 and 2 months. Okay? $20 and 2 months. All right. Great. Months. And million. All right. Got it. Let's drop some text in here. And let's drop some text in here. Okay. See, in hours is not wrapping. And it's because they have controlled the width of this. They're not allowing it to span the normal width of a container, which we can mimic, you know, if we go width XL, for example, that's going to bring it in. That's probably exact, almost exact to what they're doing. I just hate the fact that, yeah, see, I do not like these orphans. So what we can do is we can do a little trick where you combine those two words together and then add a non-breaking space. And it's going to force both those words to break. I'm going to do the same thing here. Non-breaking space. And then just in case this one ever decides to go, at non-breaking space there as well. Save, refresh, and there is our little section. Okay, now we need that section right there. Oh, we need to do these two things right here. People are gonna wonder about that. So what I'm just gonna do is come in and drop a span in here. All right, and I'm gonna drop a span around that one as well. I don't even think we need, I mean, you could make the case that you should put a like a class on here called like symbol or small or something like that. Let's do span class equals symbol. We're gonna do span class equals stat card stat symbol like this, just to kind of cross all of our T's and dot all of our I's. So let me grab that whole span right there, and we'll drop that on this one as well. Okay, so it's slash stat symbol. Stat card, double underscore stat symbol. So look what we can do here. We can go to CSS root symbol, right? Because it's going to write the first part of that for me. That's why I really love this feature. Font size, let's try 50%. And what's going on here? We lost something. And it's not because of that. Did I screw up the span? Span class, start card. No. Stat card. We do not want it to be start card. All right, so stat card, stat symbol, and I lost a bracket in there as well. My gosh. Wow, okay. That was a whole disaster waiting to happen. But now we're good. See, that's all we had to do. Nice. Let's drop in another, this is not gonna be a section though. This is not a, because I don't even think this is that's just an image. There's no heading in here. This is just image button. I don't even think we're gonna make that a section of content. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to add a section, and thank you, Bricks, for adding it once again, way it down at the bottom. Oh dear, what are we doing here? Section, let's put it under here. But I'm gonna remove its semantic section tag. I'm just gonna turn this into a generic div. And what is this background? That's BG base light. Yep. And okay, so it looks to me like, let's do pad section class, pad section. You know what? I'm thinking about auto bimming this because we may want to use this whole thing somewhere else. We can call this a voted divider or something like that. Awards. We'll call this an awards divider. Awards divider. All right, awards divider. Bam, just like that. And our awards divider is probably going to have different, it could have different background colors, but we'll put this on the class because it doesn't hurt. So let's just go with base light for right now. And then padding top and bottom, I don't even think that's like normal. Yeah, maybe it is section space M. So let's try section space. Yeah, that looks a little much. Maybe not. Okay. So what do we need in here? We need this image, I don't like the fact that all these are images. I really wish that was a real heading. I mean, I gotta kind of do what they're doing, but I wish that was a real heading. So image button is really what we need in here. That was not correct. Image. Did I do 2 or 1? Okay, I miskeyed it. Image, and then add a button as well. Oh my gosh, dude, with the typos. Okay, image, button. This container we need to be our inner. This is going to be our awards divider. Inner, and then image, button. I think we can auto BIM this at this point. Yes. Okay, good. So awards divider inner will be flex row, and column gap, just content gap it. Probably do that for the row gap as well. Let's align everything to the middle. It looks like we're going to align everything to the middle on both axes. And then let's drop these images in here. Oh, I don't even have the voted image. Okay, let's grab the voted image, save image as, drop that in there. Let's grab that from right here. Drop it in. Okay. We're going to drop this in as well. All right. Let's add some alt tags here. So this is going to be voted #1 best software. And then this is going to be our awards. So our, where is it? Custom alt text. Golly, my brain is failing me. It's been a very long week. It is Friday afternoon. It's been a long week. Custom alt text is going to be software product awards. Okay. And then this button is going to be a what? A button base. And it's going to be a button outline as well. All right. And that's going to say find out why. Awesome. And is there any extra gap between those? No, but there is more gap. So looks like content gap times 2 would work really, really, really well there. And there's our little CTA strip. And we just want to see what's going to happen here on mobile as this stacks, perhaps. Okay. We got some mobile stuff to take care of with our grid, obviously. This is still looking really good here. See what happens here. Now we need to stack it. So let's just go with vertical. And I think we're pretty perfect right there. While we're here, let's check this grid out. I still think that grid is just fine. But here, it's not so fine. I'm wondering if we can just change the stat grid gap here. So grid, I guess we already have our grid gap there. I hate that little grid overlay there. I think that's fine. Just going to that kind of gap there is fine. And then on the next breakpoint down, I'm just going to stack these now. So we're going to go from grid 3 to grid 1 effectively. And I'm going to go back to our grid gap here. Or actually just go to our content gap. There we go. I don't really like how those look. What do they do on mobile with these? Oh, yeah. Well, one thing we do for sure, we didn't make the, because I didn't use a clamp. So we need to make the text size scale for sure. So let's go back to here. That's one thing we can do right here. Now I'm just going to switch to a clamp, most likely. And that should handle us for the rest of the way. Let's do text X. Oh, that's way too small. H1. Let's go to H1 there. And that should handle us all the way the rest of the way. Okay. Maybe we don't need to break as soon now. I don't think we do. I think we can stay. We're going to fix that grid up there too. I think we can stay right there. It's just here that we need to stack. We're going to come back in part 5 and worry about all of our mobile cleanup. Well, most of our mobile cleanup. We're doing a little bit of it right now just because we're being sucked into it. This grid right here is perfectly fine. At this breakpoint, God, I hate the jumping around. At this breakpoint, we are going to go with a grid 1. And that is going to carry that down. Everything else should be perfectly fine on mobile in that section the rest of the way. So that section is all fixed up. Okay. I feel like these images need a size on them so that they don't get too out of control. So this is... Oh, I need to look, yeah, looking on here. God, get out of the mobile. Okay. So that one is 253, and this one is 393. 253 and 393. Style, layout, 253, convert to rim. 393, convert to rim. I don't even know if we need those to be rim necessarily. I mean, I guess if the person's wanting that to scale up for accessibility purposes, I guess it makes sense for that to happen. Okay, we're looking good there, and we're looking good there. Okay, all right. I have no issue with any of that. I think we're good. So let's see how we're doing on recording time. I think we've got time to tackle our footer. Yes, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and tackle the footer. So what do we need first? I want to get this little colorful little strip up there. And I'm thinking that's just a, I know it's an image because I downloaded it. Let's hop over to our footer. And let's add a background image to this footer. So let's go style, backgrounds. This one right here. That's going to cover the entire thing, okay? Background attachment, fine. Top left is going to be fine. I don't want this to repeat for now. Background size is going to be custom. And I'm going to insert something like 200 pixels. That's not big enough. 300 pixels. If we look at theirs, 400 pixels. That's about the thickness that we need. And now we can just repeat it across the x-axis to the other side. And let's refresh, check this out. And we are good to go there. Are we a little thick? We're a tiny bit thicker. Little thicky thick. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's go 350 pixels. And that'll dial that in. Awesome. Now, I'm not going to bother with... Well, first of all, we need to make these links all need to be smaller, don't they? Nav link, typography, text S. Are they already text S? They need to be text XS, I guess. Yeah, that looks more in alignment. I'm not going to bother with doing all these. I will show how to do this little new badge right here. So there's a trending over here. We'll call this trending. We're just going to put the headings in, I guess. So products, features, resources, company. Products, features, resources, company, trending. And then CX Trends 2023. So I'll come over here. CX Trends 2023. And then we're just going to go span class equals link badge. Span, close that tag. And what does it say? New or something? Yeah. So inside that span, we're going to put new. And all we're going to do is color that with the accent color. So the background is going to be our accent color. Oh, but not of the whole thing. I'm sorry. So nav link, footer nav link. What do we call that class? Link badge. Okay. So root link badge. And we're going to go with background color of accent. Color of accent ultra dark. Text transform of uppercase. Font weight of 700. Padding, let's go line height first. Line height of 1. Padding of 0.5 em, 1 em. border radius of radius M. Is that correct? That all looks really, really, really correct. Except for the padding. Line height 1. Why didn't line height 1? There's something up with this font. Okay, so let's go to 0.75 M here. Oh, we may need to make this. No, that's about right. Okay. 0.35 M, 45 M. Looks about right. 35 M. I'm just going to need extra on the top because of the way this font is behaving. So that's top, right, bottom, and then left will be the 0.75 again. But now the top, I can just go to 0.5, 0.6. I just kind of dial it in that way. There's our new badge. What does their new badge look like? They have less padding for sure. So this needs to be like 0.65, 0.65, 0.25, and 0.5. That's much better. And then on our nav link, we need to just come over here and we need to set this to display flex, and our axis here. Okay. It already seems, let's just make sure that we don't have any line height on these. Line height 1. Ah, yeah. There we go. Okay. And now what we're going to have to do, which thankfully we use classes on everything, is just increase our gap. So let's go content gap. And that's probably going to be content gap divided by 1.5. Much better. And now we have our little badge here. And then on this nav link, we can go under our flex, a gap of, I don't want to do that. I don't know what I was just doing there. I misclicked that button. A gap of 0.5 M, 0.75 M, just to space out that badge a little bit. And I think we are good to go. Okay, so we got a little badge action there. We need another container in our footer. So in our footer, I'm going to go with a container, probably 2 more containers, honestly. And then in our footer, we can go with container gap, space all those out. We need how can we help contact us? And then we need some social icons on that side. So let's put a big text in here. And we're also going to do a social icon wrapper. I'm going to cheat on these, and I'm just going to bring in icons from frames. So let's refresh this. And let's go with social. And let's bring in social icons Charlie. Okay, nice. Let's put those in that container right there. Awesome. So this is going to be flex row. We'll go align items center. Just going to be using utility classes for this more or less. Let's do this. In that container, we can go with text white. Why am I using utility classes here? Because it's a footer. There's only one of them, and you don't really need to BIM this up. Justify content between. That works there. I still want to put a gap here though of content gap. So we're just dropping utility classes in here to handle this. This needs to be like our H1 size or our H2 size. So this needs to be H2. And how can we help contact us? So how can we help contact us? And that's an exclamation mark, I suppose. Yes. Okay. So now what I need to do, I'm just going to do this at the ID level. I'm going to go in typography because, again, there's only one of these. Font weight of 700. We need the other font, the feature font, and then we're good there. So under contact us, I need to just drop in an A right here. Awesome. We'll just say this is going to go to the contact page. And then contact us. Style, font weight. That's actually changed the weight of our A. Okay. So I can just drop in an inline style here. Font weight of 700. That'll bold that again. And then, oh, you know what? It also needs to be color of var accent. Okay, perfect. Text decoration, underline, text underline, offset, 0.5 em, 0.25 em, something like that. And then it looks to me like, oh yeah, that's super thin. Text decoration, I believe it's thickness of 2 pixels. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we kind of whipped that up. Icon group, icon, did I just, okay, no, we're good here. So icon, Charlie, color. Let's change this to action real quick. Okay, what color are those? Oh, they're all white. Okay, so let's make them white. And yeah, that's really it. They're just different. There's just some different icons in there, but that's just like, you know, little tiny easy stuff. Icon group, icon group, icon group. Let's just duplicate these. How many icons do they have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, you guys don't really need to see me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need one more. You guys don't really need to see me like, you know, change social icons. That's not, you know, super difficult. All right, so we need here, I'm gonna go with section space M, grab it and bring it down here. Is that too much? It's about what they have. It's about what they have. Let's go border, top, bottom, style, solid, color. I'm gonna go with white trans 20 or something like that. All right, let's drop an image in. Actually, we just drop an SVG file in. No selected file. Actually, just use this one right here. Okay. And we want to color that. So let's fill it with white. And then let's go with 100% width. That's basically what they've done there. And then we just need a little footer nav link area down here. I don't even think you want to give this. Okay, we do want to give this a nav. They call it legal footer. I think that is technically the correct way to do that. So inside of that container, under our SVG, we will add a block. This is going to be our legal nav right here, and I will change that HTML tag to a nav tag. On this container right here, we want to do a little bit of a content gap. All right, in our legal nav, we need a unordered list, so we're going to add a block. We need a list item, so we're going to add another block. We're going to need inside that, okay, there's our, we'll just name this, so list, this is going to be list item. Inside of that, we need our link. Okay. Text link right there. Awesome. Link. All right. So I've got legal nav, list, list item, and link. I can auto BEM this. So legal nav, apply. The list I need to change to a UL. The list item I need to change to an LI. The link is already handling my A. On my list, I need to go to layout, padding left of 0 to clear that out. Okay. And then our legal nav, I can just do, where is our link? Okay, let's actually link that up and then we'll be able to see it because it'll inherit our color, but I think we want them to be white. Yeah, we do. Okay, so legal nav link is going to be typography color, white. Is it white? Yeah, it's white. Okay, and it is a smaller size. So we'll go text XS. And what is that going to say? Terms of use. Terms of use. And we just want to make sure that our legal nav is flex row and that it's allowed to wrap, and then we're good to go. Okay, link down there. I'm just, what is with our container right here? Container, Zendesk. I put a content gap on here. And it doesn't appear to be doing anything. Container. Oh, it is. But it's not doing it between the two things. Okay, let's look at this on the front end. All right, now let's put the content gap in here. On that container right there. So there's our content gap. Yeah, there we go. But we're just not seeing it in the builder. So let's refresh the builder. And now we see it. Okay. Brick's still got some little glitchy type stuff like that. List item, list item. We need to duplicate, 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 duplicate. And now we need to take our list and we need to set this to flex row. Align everything to the middle, but to the start. Yeah, and those were all divs. So I need list item to be width of auto. There we go. Now on our list, we'll just column gap this. Maybe something like content gap would work. Looks to be a little bit less. Content gap divided by like 1.5 or something. Maybe not even that much. Maybe like 1.25. Okay. Looking really, really, really good. And that's going to be allowed to wrap. So it's going to be automatically, we just need those to be text decoration underline on hover. And they stay white. Oh no, they get dark on hover. So nav link. Okay, we actually want this. Yeah, we'll just do it on the link. CSS root, hover, color, look to be like something like neutral, neutral light, something like that. Yeah, maybe neutral medium. Yeah, that's more like it. I'll go with neutral light though, just to maintain proper contrast ratio. And we're gonna go text decoration hover. No, I'm sorry, text decoration underline. My brain's thinking hover, but it needs to be underline. So there we go. And then on root, we need to do a transition of the color. 0.5 seconds, ease in, out, it seemed theirs was. Maybe 0.3 seconds, 0.4 seconds, something like that. And let's do neutral medium. Yeah, it does darken like that. All right. Notice that, oh, that's mine. Yep. But their text underline is instant. So we're gonna only transition the color. And then all we can do we can improve that contrast, the way that neutral medium is, just by going to palette, neutral shades, neutral medium. The lightness is 50, and we want it to be a little bit lighter, so we'll just take that to 65. Okay, refresh, and I think those icons have a background, like a dark background. I just want to check that real quick and make sure that they don't. Background. Yeah, let's get rid of the background on those. Let's say that the background is going to be transparent. All right, save, refresh. Okay, so we've got the footer all wrapped up here. What happens on this thing when it hovers? Okay, so just has some little underline effect thing. We can clean up some stuff like that in the last episode. All their icons are a little bit bigger. Can make that adjustment real quick. So color is white, icon size, text X. This is actually going to be in here. Yeah, it's controlled by icon size, which is, I believe, controlled in maybe the icons social Charlie right here. I can control all of them at once because Bricks doesn't. There's something wrong with classes and icons and Bricks where it doesn't actually behave as if you've used a class. So I'm going to do 2.5 M there. Maybe 2.25 M, something like that. Okay, that's much better there. That's much closer. Okay, I'm going to close this up. All right, I think we've done enough here. We've got the legal nav going. All of our footer. Let's check our footer responsiveness just so we can make sure that that's good. What's overflowing? That grid is overflowing. So we're gonna have to change that. But everything else in our footer is responsive. So we'll come back and we'll do mobile optimizations in the final episode in the series, and we'll talk about some little animation type stuff like that. Mostly I want to do mobile stuff. And I think we need to make this dynamic, but that's about it. So we are wrapping this thing up. We're almost done. Hope you guys have gotten a lot out of this. Drop comments below. Make sure you throw up a like. Pay with a comment, and I will see you back very, very, very soon.